So yesterday I made a video about Tristan Clements and talking about how a victim of SA, could potentially feel if they were in court pouring their heart out testifying and then the person was found not guilty. But let's examine what really happened at the Tristan Clements trial. Tristan Clements was a coach at Valonia that was accused of SA. He was arrested and charged with first-degree SA after police were able to see him on camera going to a school after hours, of course, picking up a child and leaving with her and then returning, dropping her off and leaving again so that she could walk through the woods and go home. Because that's a perfectly normal thing. But according to some anonymous messages that I received, there was a lot of information that came out at trial that you would think would have worked to convict Tristan Clements. So why wasn't he convicted? According to the information that I was able to receive in the trial for Tristan Clements, the two major people that he had testify on his behalf were his wife and his sister that he has custody of. Again, this is what I have been told, and I am just sharing this information with you. Also, those were more character witnesses. Character like, well, he wouldn't do this. So against Tristan Clements was actually a lot. Allegedly, there was testimony. There was video footage that had been seen and testimony. I don't know if they showed the video footage to the jury, but there was testimony that Tristan Clements traveled to Walmart on the day that he picked this child up and purchased a box of condoms. And then the victim in the case described that box of condoms. But of course, Tristan Clements' attorney allegedly had a rebuttal for that, saying that the victim only knew what the box of condoms was because she saw them in his vehicle. She was rummaging around and saw them. And she was in his vehicle because, well, Tristan Clements was trying to save her because she was having a dark time, and he was just trying to take her to a nice place like Toadsuck Park and show her that life is worth living. Bless his heart. Isn't that what all teachers do? Like pick students up away from their houses and then drive them to random secluded locations to convince them that life is beautiful? It's not really convincing someone that life is beautiful when you're graping them, though, is it? I do have more information about this, though. According to the information that I received, Tristan Clements claimed that only a handful, under 50 messages had been exchanged between the two of them when there were actually hundreds. Just under 500 that were sent from the victim alone. So imagine how many more were sent by Tristan Clements as he was messaging her every day, telling her good morning and every other thing that he was saying to her. So back to the box of condoms, Tristan told investigators and testified that this box of condoms that was in his car that he went to purchase on the day that he went to pick up the victim was a box of condoms that he picked up for he and his pregnant wife. Make that make sense. I'll just let you sit with that one for a second. Because am I the odd one here? Am I the only one that anytime I was pregnant, being married and all, I was like, oh, well, no need for that. I'm already pregnant. But am I wrong? Condoms, they prevent pregnancy and some STIs. But if you are with your partner long term, married to your partner or whatever, trust your partner, obviously, and you're already pregnant, again, what's the reasoning for them? I don't know. Again, maybe it's just me. Tristan Clements also claimed that he didn't spend any alone time with the victim in this case, but he was seen on camera going into a room alone with her and then exiting the room alone with her after school hours. So what's that about? Tristan Clements also admitted on the stand that he had been in contact with other students on Snapchat. I have spoken out about this again. Please, if you allow your children to have Snapchat, please monitor the Snapchat, because there is no reason, in my opinion, and I have adult children, no reason for a teacher to be snapping a student. There's just none. They should be communicating with the student in a way where there is a record of the communication. And I feel that if a teacher or a trusted adult is snapping a student or a minor, that the reason that they're doing it is because they don't want there to be a record. It's just my opinion. But regardless, I'm sure you're wondering, like, what happened at the trial to where he was found not guilty? And we'll never, like, really know. But I think that there are a lot of factors in, like, really sitting down and thinking about it. You see, in the United States, it is beyond a reasonable doubt. It has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. Tristan Clements didn't have to prove that he was innocent. He just had to instill enough doubt to make jurors question that he could possibly not be guilty. And that's all there is. The burden is really on the state. And I do think that the state tried their very best on this case, that they put forth plenty of information. I just think that Tristan Clements' attorneys probably played the game. Obviously, he was found not guilty, played the game a little bit better to where he was found not guilty, because they caused there to be doubt. You also have to consider, and I've said this before, jurors don't hear all of the testimony. They don't hear all of the evidence. They hear what is allowed to be presented. They hear what isn't objected to by the other party. That's what they hear. It's very difficult whenever you hear so many details about a case and you're like, well, why were they found not guilty? I mean, think Casey Anthony. Look at all the information that's out there. And I mean, I'd be willing to bet that 95% of the United States believes that she's responsible for the murder of her daughter. And yet she's walking around free. The justice system, the court system, it's flawed. I don't know that there's a better way to do it, but it's flawed. It's imperfect, just like everything else. Unfortunately, in this case, I think that the victim is going to be the one to continue to pay the price, probably for the rest of her life, due to what has occurred, because she'll never get justice. There's double jeopardy in the United States. He can't be tried again. It is what it is. He was found innocent, and he will go on with his miserable life.